Taking a vow is a means of increasing Yahweh's ability and reality in our given situation. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2 of Matot Maseh. As we go into this chapter 30 of the book of Bamidbar, or Numbers, we begin reading about the process in which one would make a vow before Yah. If we go back to chapter 21 and verse number 3, we see that Arad has had some sense of tactical or military strategic advantage over Israel, and they need the power of Yahweh to show up and help bring about deliverance in their need. They make a vow as a nation before him that says, if you will give us victory, we will put everything under the ban. That is, we will not take any plunder for ourselves. Yah heard their vow, honored it, worked with them, and they overcame their adversary. So the point of the matter is this: when we are in need of an increase of Yah to demonstrate his power, his authority, his victory, in a given situation that we have encountered, we can make a vow before him saying, if you will give us victory, Father, if you will break through in this situation, then this is what we will do in response. Now be careful. Whatever vow you make, Yah fully expects you to keep it. Now, some may have taken this to outlandish measures and extremes, and that's not what Yah is advocating. What you're inviting him to participate in must have a righteous purpose. So this is not about, Father, if you will give me X amount of money, then I will promise to pay tithes on it. You're already supposed to do that. Whatever you earn, you're already supposed to give from it. So that's not really an effectual vow. If you made that vow and wonder why you didn't get rich, well, maybe now you know. So we are inviting Yah to bring about his presence and power. Now, Hasidic thought says, agreeably so, that it is our purpose in whatever environment that the Father has placed us in, whatever community, whatever situation, to bring about the reality of his name, his character, his awareness, his authority in that situation. So I live in a certain community, and it's my job for this community to experience the presence and the reality of Yahweh, my Elohim, because of the way he works through me. I am a diffuser. That is, he pours into me, and then I diffuse his reality, his presence, wherever I go. It certainly helps if you have an agreeable personality or a willingness to put a smile on your face. Just a thought, just trying to be a blessing there. So the ultimate purpose of this then is to see the kingdom of Yeshua come to the earth. That is, that we would walk agreeably with the Most High, that if he shows us how to make a vow pertaining to a situation, that we do so and that we keep our vow and that we honor him. Yah is just looking for these opportunities where we are willing to open the door and allow him to invest, to invoke his presence and his power, to demonstrate himself. May Yah grant us such opportunities in the days ahead. Now, this Torah portion in the first section is named after tribes, the word matot. My understanding is that the word for matot, meaning tribes, also means a staff. In particular, this is a staff that has been a branch cut down from a tree. It is aged, it is hardened, it is rigid now with maturities, shall we say, curing. There's another word meaning tribe that also can be translated as rod, shevet. So shevet means a rod that is cut, that is still green, still has the sap in it. One seems to suggest maturity, one seems to suggest maybe immaturity or maybe newness. Rabbinical thought goes along the lines of saying that the staff, matot, references one that is well entrenched in the physical and the material world, while shevet references one being yet green and having sap that is more spiritual. But in the reference here, it is matot that is invited to make a vow. That is, those of us that are well entrenched in the physical and the material world, we've been here a while, that we're inviting Yah to demonstrate his power as we move throughout our environment, our community. It would seem then that the vow would be more readily offered to one that is more spiritual in their walk. But Yah sees those of us that are aged, matured, cured a bit, hardened by the physical realm experience of those that are most in need of started to say the invasion. It's not so much the invasion, it's the investment of his power and his ability in the midst of us. No matter how old we are, no matter how aged the staff is, it still retains the DNA of the tree from which it was cut. We just need to get back to it. We need a reattaching to our root. Now, I'll share something a little on the personal side here. I shared this at our House of David Torah study this past week. And that is that I have been somewhat corrected by the Ruach HaKodesh that a strong attachment to my Southern heritage here in the United States, having a great-great-grandfather who fought in the Confederacy, along with 6 great-great-uncles that I know of on my father's side, as well as perhaps other family members. They weren't fighting for what has been perceived the racial element. They were fighting for the protection of their homes from an invading force. You can go back to the history of all of that, but nonetheless, there's this long-term Southern history, Southern heritage, Southern calling, and culture that I have placed a great deal of value on. It's under attack, and it has caused me a sense of offense. The Father, though, has instructed me, son, your roots go a lot deeper. And before you were a Southerner, you were a Hebrew. You need to go back to a deeper root. It's not that these values that are a little more new or contemporary are not important, but it's an ancient root that is going to bring us to the kingdom. Not being a Southerner, not being a Northerner, or an Easterner or a Westerner, Yah is looking for those who have a Hebrew heart. With that being said, then, I need to invite him to awaken the DNA that is more important, to stir up that part of me that needs to be more enlivened. So, Yah, I need to find a vow that I can invoke that will invite your reality to awaken a deeper part of me. Those things being said, let us also remember that in the book of Revelation, to the assembly at Ephesus, the command was, return to your first love. We need to find our first love again. We need to get back to an earlier calling, that passion that we had when we were first born again, that exuberance that we had when we were filled with the Spirit, that anointing that we walked under with gladness and with great joy. There's plenty to rob from us. There's plenty to bring us down. There's plenty to offend us. But when we find the things that will enable us to rejoice, let's look to him. Let's get him to invest himself in us. Let's invite him to do so. More on these things tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Shalom.